Good morning, students. Today's topic is electoral politics. In this chapter, we are going to cover up about the definitions of election, how the procedure of election take place, need of election, and what makes election a democratic, then system of elections in India, various methods, how elections are being held, campaign, electoral reserve constituency, then what makes elections in India democratic, and in that afterwards main powers of election commission, popular participation of citizens, its role and the challenges that are being faced in the election process that happens in a democratic country. So these are the topics of this chapter. In the first part, we are going to cover up about the election and process, need, and what makes election democratic. So these are the topics that are to be covered in the first part. Now, meaning of that is the definition of election. Before that, in a democratic country, people they do not govern directly, they are governed through elected representatives, and those elected representatives they are governing us, and it is the most common feature of democracy. So electoral politics, it is the main topic that explains the election of the representatives. So we are going to understand the process of election in this chapter. Example of Haryana Lok Sabha State Assembly is also provided to explain you the procedure of election. So that example is to explain the procedure of election. First, the definition: it is a mechanism or a procedure by which people choose their representatives at regular interval. Now, example of Haryana elections, that is state elections. So Haryana has been ruled by the Congress party since 1982, and this example is of the election that happened in the year 1987. So in 1987 assembly election, at that time Chaudhry Devilal, he was the opposition leader. So he led a movement called Nyay Yudh, that is the struggle for the justice, and he framed a new party called Lok Dal. So before the election, he promised, that means Devilal promised voters that his party, if his party wins the election, he will give loans to the farmer and small businessmen. So people they were unhappy with the working government, that is at that time was Congress. They were attracted to the Devilal's promise, so they voted in favor of Lokdal and its partners, and they won the seat. 90 out of 90 they won 76. Out of 76, Lokdal won 60 seats, so they had a clear majority in the state assembly election. The party was invited by the governor to form the government, and as the Congress has only 5 seats, so in this way the working government, people were not satisfied with the working, so they changed the government by electing the another party which was in the opposition. So Devilal, he became the chief minister because his party members elected him, or they decided to make Devilal the chief minister. So the election result, after the result, he was invited by the government, he took the oath, then his government was framed, and after being in the government, he ordered the state government to give loans to the small farmers and agricultural laborers and small businessmen. Lokdal tried ruled the state for 4 years, but in the next election again in 1991, party was not able to win the people's support. So this time again Congress came into being. So this example is being provided to you explain the process that the working government, even if it is satisfying the main point, Devilal, he did the provision of loan, but still his working was not satisfactory, and on that ground again he lost in the next election and Congress came into being. Now, what is the need of election? So, elections, they are needed to elect a representatives. That means they are needed to elect the representatives, and the need of election, it could be understood by imagining of democracy without election. In the absence of election, if we are thinking that the government is framed without election, all the people, they have to sit together every day, take all the decisions, which is not possible, first thing. Second, it is not possible that everyone has the time and knowledge to take decisions. So that is why people in democracies, they are ruled through representatives. So it is an answer why people are ruled through the representatives in democratic country. So in most democracies, people are ruled through their representatives. Now, need of elections in representative government. So why there is a need? Because the election process, after that, the representative government, they solve the problem of assessing people on the basis of education, knowledge or experience. Second, they help elections, they help people in analyzing that people like their representatives or not. That means members of the party that is in the elections, it helps people whether they like that party or that member or not. Third, it ensures that representatives rule as per the wishes of the people. So whoever is ruling, they are ruling according to the wishes of the people, and make sure that those who are not working for the people, they do not remain their representatives. That means they lost the next election. So in an election, the voters or the people or citizens, they make choices. So we, the voters or citizens, we make choices. So what is the choice? That we decide that they can choose who will make the laws for them. They can even choose who will form the government and major decisions. So we decide who is going to be our government and who is going to make the decisions, major decisions. Third, we also choose that party that whose policies will guide the government and lawmaking. So when we citizens are having that much choice, so we should vote in a proper manner, because whatever the government is being framed, it is for us. And so if we are not aware of our power, then the government that is framed would ultimately not work according to us. So that's the need of the election. So to make you understand the procedure that I already told you, the example of Haryana Assembly election is being provided in your book. Now you would understand why there is a need of election. Now, what makes an election democratic? So elections, they are held in almost all the countries, but in the previous second chapter we have understood the concept that in some countries, besides elections are being held, they are not properly called democratic because there are certain drawbacks. So elections are held in all democratic countries and on almost all non-democratic countries also, and they are held in many ways, but requirement, that is the main condition, minimum requirement that should be there to make election democratic are: number one, everyone should have the right to choose representative. It means that everyone has one vote and every vote have equal value. So it is called political equality also. If there is a one question, what do you mean by political equality, then it means that everyone has one vote and every vote of his or her should have equal value. They should have equal value, means one value. If it is one value, then every person's vote should have one value only. It should not be two or three. Second point, political parties and the candidates, they should be free to contest elections and offer some real choice to the voters. That means the candidates, those who are standing, or the parties, those who are standing in the election, they should contest the elections in a free manner. That means they are not using money or muscle power, or they are not providing money to the voters to win the election, or they are not threatening the citizens to win the elections. So it should not be there. So because of that, election commission is being framed to control those things. So real choice should be there to the voters. That means they should be free to vote whoever they want, whether the person is powerful or whether the person is a poor who is standing in the election. Third point, the elections, they should be held at regular intervals. For that, elections must be held regularly after a certain period. And in countries, it is almost already decided whether the elections are held after 5 years or after 6 years. Number 4, candidates that are preferred by the people, they should get elected. So whoever we have preferred, that means those we have given vote, they should only get elected. It means that uh, no changes in the votes that are should be allowed. It means the election commission, he should take care those when the votes are being done by the citizens, they are not done in a wrong manner, or changes of votes are not held, or some people, they have not changed the votes that are being done. So this has to be taken care also. Elections, they should be conducted in a free and fair manner, where people choose those representatives whom they really wish. So it means that free and fair manner means no changes are made, no threatening is done, no muscle power, money power is being used by the political parties or by the persons, those who are standing in the election. So these are the points what makes elections democratic. Democratic here means they are done in a proper manner, in under proper um, guidance of the election commission, as we are doing in India. Now, political competition, do you think political competition should exist? That means when the elections are held, there is a competition among the political parties and the candidates, for those who are standing in the election. So do you think it is good to have competition? Yes, as without competition, election would become meaningless. Political parties or political competition, it takes place when different political parties compete to gain the confidence and ultimately the vote of the voters. So they make promises and they give incentives to motivate the voters. That means they are promising that what they are going to do after being elected, and they also give incentives, that means methods to motivate the voters, explain the way of working they are going to do after being in it after being in the government. Now, what are the merits and demerits of competition? That is, if political competition is existing, it is having both the things, that is, they have certain merits and they are also having certain demerits. So first, the benefit of competition. First thing is that the electoral competition has certain benefits. Number one, regular electoral competition provide incentives to the political parties and leaders. Incentive in the means that the political parties, they have to work according to the wills of the citizens or the voters, because if they want to be in the government, they have to work. So it acts like a incentive. Incentive means if you are going to are having your examination, so to make you, to motivate you, your parents make certain promises that if you are going to score good marks, then you will have this thing. So that acts as an incentive, that means like a motivation. So regular elections, it's like a motivation to the political parties and leaders, because if they want to be in the government or they want to win again, they have to work according to the people's will, voters will. Second, if a political party is motivated only by the desire to be in power, even then it is forced to serve the people. Otherwise, political parties, they are not going to work in the favor of the people. So the parties or the candidates, those who are standing in the election, they know that to win the people's confidence, they have to serve, and that is the force. They are forced to serve. Like you are forced to study by the examination, otherwise you won't study at all. The same way, the party or the candidates, they are forced to serve the people. Third point, it reveals the real motive of the political party. So the political parties, they have to work. The motivation is provided by the political regular elections that are held. So regular elections, they act as a motive for the political parties. Number 5, they give choices to the voters to choose among the best. So choice, who is the best, the choices, various choices that those persons who are standing or those parties who are standing in the election, they are choice to the voters. So political competition, it is good in these ways, but election competition has certain demerits also. Like number 1, demerits means drawbacks. If there is a question, what are the drawbacks of political competition? So it creates a sense of disunity and factionalism. Disunity means the area where the election is being held, it is divided into, and factionism is, it also means groupism. That means it splits up into a groups in small factions, so called group of persons, they form a minority in larger group. Sometimes minorities are more in an area, so factionism came into being. So it refers to the splitting of a group in small factions, that means small pieces. Faction means a group of people form a minority in a larger group. So this way the whole area is divided, and the party politics is also there in every locality. Party politics means the people, they favor certain party, like they favor like certain people or some certain community, they favor just one single party, and that is called party politics starts in that area. Political parties and the candidates, they often use dirty tricks like booth capturing to win the elections. Booth capturing means where the elections are being held, supporters or hired muscle men or some gons, that means they are hired by the party or the candidate to gain the physical control of the polling booth, and they cast false vote. That means the voters, actually they are not voting. In place of the voters, some other persons, those who are hired by that party or the candidate, they cast the vote by threatening everyone or by preventing genuine votes from reaching the polling booth. Either they cast false vote or they stop the people to vote. So in these tricks are also being used by the political parties and candidates. So it is called booth capturing. Third, pressure to win the election, it is always there, and it does not allow to form useful long term policies. So they just want to win the elections, actually they are not having any policies, that means they are not having any program or policies to serve the people. So as their main motive is just to win the election, so mostly parties are just standing to have control over that area. and this competition idea, it leads to unhealthy competition, and because of them there are certain people who do not enter the party work, that is political working and political competition. They do not enter and participate in political competition. So real persons who are actually working in favor of the people, they don't want to be a part of any party or party politics, so they remain outside and they work just from outside. They are not a part of the election process. Now, system of election in India. Now, in India, Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, that is assembly elections, are held regularly after every 5 years, and after 5 years the term of all elected representatives, they came to an end. Elections are held in all constituencies at the same time, either or on the same day and within a few days. And this type of election process is called general elections. Sometimes, now that's the definition of general elections, but sometimes the elections, they are held only for one constituency to fill the vacancy that is being caused by the death or the resignation of a member of the so that is called by elections. So when elections are held separately because of some reason, as the constituency where the elections are held, it is being vacant due to the death or due to resignation of a member of, so that is called by election. Now, electoral constituencies in India, an area based system of representation is followed, where the country is divided into different areas for the purpose of election, and these areas are called electoral constituencies. So every voter who live in an area of that is called who live in the area is called one representative. So that is called the electoral constituency, and the persons or the voters who are living in an area, they elect one representative of them. That means one representative per one person is elected from that area. For Lok Sabha elections, India is divided into 543 seats constituencies. So seat or constituency is the same. The representative elected from each constituency is called members of the parliament or called an MP. So it's called representatives or the member of parliament. One of the feature, it is the main feature of democratic election, is that every vote has equal value, that I have already told you. For Vidhan Sabha, each state is divided into specific number of assembly constituency, and the elected representatives of each assembly constituency is called member of the legislative assembly, that is called MLA. So this the definition. Now each parliament constituency has within its several assembly constituencies. The same principle applies for the panchayat and municipal elections also. So the division that we are making for the state center level and the state level, the same division is for the principal, or the division is for the panchayat and municipal election. Panchayat election is held in the village level and municipal elections are held in the cities or towns. Each village or town is divided into different wards, and that are like constituency. So in villages, wards are there, numbers are given, and those wards are like constituencies. So you can understand the concept of constituency in this manner. Each ward elect one member of the village or the urban local body. That means urban local body, if the elections are held, they are called municipal elections. Sometimes these constituencies are counted as seats. So the constituency, as I told you, that they are also called seats. So whenever we are talking, we are normally using the word seat, we are never used the word constituency. So they are, the constituency or the seat means the same. So each constituency, it represents one seat in the election assembly. The example, as we have give provided about the Lokdal. So we have read that the Lokdal won 60 seats in Haryana. It means that the candidates of Lokdal, they won in 60 assembly constituencies in the state, and that is why we call that Lokdal has 60 MLAs in the state assembly. Now this is the definition, by the constituencies, how they are called seats. Now reserved constituencies. The constitution makers of India, they were worried about that in an open electoral competition, weaker sections, they may not be able to stand, or they won't be able to have a good chance to get elected in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies. So in that case, if they are the weaker sections, they are not able to have their representatives, so the parliament and assembly would be deprived of the significant section of our population. That means weaker section representatives won't be there in the parliament and in the state assemblies. So because of that, if that happens in future, so constitution makers, they decided that the democracy won't be in a proper manner representatives, and it would be less democratic. So because of that, reservation was made for the SC and ST. Now we are also having reservation for women candidates. So the makers of the constitution, they thought of a system of reserved constituency for the weaker section. So some constituencies are reserved for the people who belongs to scheduled caste, and some those who are belonging to scheduled tribes. So in a SC, that is scheduled caste constituency, only someone who belongs to scheduled caste can stand for the election, and those who belonging to scheduled tribes, same way they can contest election from constituency that is reserved for the ST candidates. So reservation in Lok Sabha or in district level or at local level, so the reservation is done in the same manner at the local level also. So a seat in the Lok Sabha are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and this number is in proportion to their share in the total population. So according to the population, the share is provided to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. In the year that is provided in your book, it is about the year 2012. 84 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and 47 seats are reserved for the scheduled tribes in the Lok Sabha elections. So this is the way the reservations are made. So the reserved seats for SC and ST, they are not taking away the legitimate share of any other social group that is in that area. This system of reservation, it was extended to the other weaker sections also of the district and the local level. Seats in the rural, that is panchayat, and urban, that is municipalities and corporation, local bodies, they are also having reservation for other backward classes, that is OBC also. So the proportion of seat reserved, it varies from state to state. 1/3 of the seat is reserved in the rural and the urban local bodies for the women candidates also, to help the women to uplift themselves in life. So this is how the reservation and the system of election works in India. So this is the checkpoint, that means whatever we have studied in this part of the, we have learned about the different questions are there. They are mostly 1 marks questions, like what is election, who invites chief minister to take the post, how long a government in India rule. Now the question number 4, it is having the question that is state 2 demerits of electoral competition. In this you have to write the answer about electoral competition, and then the two demerits, that means it is of 3 marks. What is the cause of disunity and factionalism? Again, it's of 1 mark. What leads the party politics among the two parties? So party politics means why two parties they are competing with each other, they try to have the candidate in their favor, so that's called party politics. So in an area when elections are held, two parties they try to win the elections. So same area, they are indulging in they are stating that this party is not doing this work, or the party candidate is having certain mistakes of his lives, they are being told in the media. So that is called party politics. So what is general election? What is by-election? Both of them are 1 marks. Who is known as the members of parliament? You have to state 1 mark question is this one is also. What is constituency? What is the reserve constituencies? Why were the constitution makers worried about the weaker sections in an open electoral competition? The constitution makers they were worried because they know that the weaker sections, if they are not provided certain benefit, they won't be able to win the election. So reserved constituencies are made for them to help them out. This reservation process is also made for the women candidates, as they were not able to represent them, make representatives of themselves. So because of that, government have made reserve constituencies for women candidates in the Lok Sabha, sorry, in the local government. That is, local government means in the panchayat and municipal corporations and committees. Now, how many seats are reserved in the urban local bodies for women candidates? That is 1/3, and why this that is being made is not being asked. So you have to write that 1/3. In urban local bodies means in municipalities or municipal corporations. So that is called urban local bodies. So these are the questions, and this is the way you should write the answers to understand the concept that is provided in your videos that are provided to you. So sometimes I am just providing you the help. So what type of questions you should understand, and these small questions they help you to frame bigger one answers also. Thank you.